Friends and fellow travelers, welcome to the Journey Well and this October Pick a Card reading. Two things. First, I always do Jungian archetypal house readings for my monthly readings. And what that means is that we all have four energies that live within us, and that is the royal, which is king, queen, the warrior, magician, and the lover. So each house will be represented, and we'll talk about what energy we need to be aware of and bring into October in each house in this reading. Second thing, I've added the Tarot of the Haunted House to the Sufi Tarot for what I'll be using. And, you know, it's Halloween, so I figure why not have a little bit of fun, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll direct your attention to the cards. Pile 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one is calling to you? There is no rhyme or reason for this deck to call to you, perhaps, but you know one of these piles is calling to you. Once you have that, go to the description, find the timestamp, and click it. And that will take you directly to your reading. So looking forward to it, and without further ado, let's get into it. Group number 1, welcome. As I mentioned, we're going to do the archetypes, and each house will have a card. And at the end of it, we will have a unifier card, which is man in full, the woman in full card. It kind of brings everything together and energetically. It ties it all, the whole message, it wraps it in a nice little bow. So first, we're going to look at the royal house, which is this one right here. Could be the king, the queen, or the royal, however you prefer to identify that card. And then we're going to go to the warrior house and see what October is bringing for your warrior energy, which I can explain, obviously. What each of these we'll get into that. And now we'll go to the magician, which also can be looked at as a spirituality as well. Sorcerer, alchemist, whatever you want to call it. And now the lover. Oh, almost. I thought that one was coming out, but it's not. The lover did not want it to be that one, but it was close. This is the lover. Okay, there we go. Now, we will get into this, and we'll see what each of these has to say, and then I will pull another card for each house that relates to what is needed to enhance or unlock that house for you in October. So we'll flip all these over, starting with the king, queen, the royal. We have the 3 of swords. In your warrior, we have the 3 of cups. Let's stop here. What if? That would be insane if all of these were the 3s of every suit. Please, 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 please. Okay, magician. Oh, darn it. The tower. And the lover. Come on, 3 of... Nope, okay. The 7 of wands. Okay. That was just a little tongue-in-cheek. That was just a little fun. That would have been just insane, but it's still cool that we have these here. Now, we will get into the reading, starting with the royal king queen house. So the king queen is the energy for me in this moment is about expression. It's about how we show up, how we bless others, how we serve others, how we take chaos in our life and organize it and bring order to it. That's what the royalty was supposed to do, is take spiritual chaotic energy, whatever it was, and bring in order into the realm. So in here, in October, we see the 3 of swords, which, you know, is really, it speaks to a lot of grief, a lot of letting old things die so that new things can be born. Now, obviously in this deck, it's a little bit more vampiric. So we look at the thing that needs to die, the thing that you need to grieve in your king house so that you can express yourself fully, so you can support those around you. And in this specific instance, I really feel that in your king-queen house, there is an element of death that needs to occur in your vanity. I think that October is going to be an opportunity for you to let go of this idea that you have to be perfect and polished and eloquent in everything you say. You have to be well thought out and perfectly planned for everything. This means you have to get rid of that perfectionist attitude so that you can make moves and so that you can support people. I really feel that this death of vanity will allow you to open and connect more with other people, which is going to be more in the lover house. But in your king house, your queen house, you really need to let go of that need that you feel to have, you know, the certain look, the certain wardrobe, the certain appearance, you know, that if you don't have it, you're somehow less valuable. So in this death, like I said, it will allow you to support and connect with other people, because part of your royalty is in telling people they have value. And when you're so focused on your own beauty, your own appearance, it's hard for you to then go and bless others, to support others, because you're too focused on making yourself elevated, making yourself appear the way you need to so that the world can see you the way you want them to, rather than the inner beauty of who you are be the thing that lingers, not the outfit, but be the presence and the energy that you bring. So let's jump down to the warrior house. And the warrior house, we have the Three of Cups. And this is a cup about connecting with others. This is, traditionally you see the three up here. The Three Cups is the old card, is what it used to be. In a lot of decks, not used to be, but in a lot of decks it is this idea of coming together with a few people, two other people, to really celebrate and be in community. But your warrior house is showing that if this is you, you can see this replication, right? This reaching out and this reaching out. It really says that in this way, in October, there is a sense of drowning. There is a sense of grieving and death that is occurring, and it is separating you from this party, from this celebration. And I really feel as though it is mirrored here, that it's the vanity, it's this appearance mindset, it's the superficial in you. This warrior house is action being taken. So part of that action that you need to take is the same as this, is letting go of that perfectionism so that you can see that what you really want is connection with other people. There's a reason that you're being held away from it. And it's this mental space of just staying locked and focused on the superficial things, when really what you need to do is take action to find this group and connect with that group, because they are the ones that are going to allow you to feel whole. And in the Magician house, this is further reinforced, because this is your spirituality. This is your organization. This is a way, and for me, what it's being told is this belief system. So in the Tower card, you have it's fast destruction. And so what this tells me is in October, within the world of systems, of schedule, and of spiritual life, there is a way of operation that is going to be challenged. There is a shakeup coming, and it's going to come in fast. October, it's going to hit you pretty hard. Now, this really does continue the story, and when we get into the Lover house and the Seven of Wands, it'll further be solidified. So here's this chaos happening, and your magician, your system, the way you've been doing it, your schedule, the way you've been going about your days is going to be thrown. So in your Lover house, this is connection. This is how we relate to each other. This is creativity. This is compassion. This is our essence and energy of just being. And when the Lover house has a card of conflict, which the Seven of Wands is, it makes me think about, as it's reversed here, is an avoidance of conflict, because lovers are going to try to appease. They're going to try to avoid conflict. And what I'm seeing for you in October is that there is going to be conflict, and you're going to want to avoid it. And the reason that you're going to want to avoid it is because of this way of being that you've been operating, because this is very much your mental space in a lot of ways, and how you communicate with other people. And this is how you're acting in the world physically and showing up. There is an illusion that you're portraying that you have it all together, when in fact you don't. And you're avoiding that inner conflict. You're avoiding that external conflict, because in a way, that if you were to let the conflict happen, it's going to shake things up, and it's not going to be comfortable. This fire just goes right down into this tower, blows it up in your spiritual life, in your schedule, in your ability and desire to control things, is going to get blown up, and you need to let it happen. Because when that blows up, you're going to see and be forced to see a way through it. And it is not going to be something you can just put on a new outfit for, speak some pretty words and have it go away. This is your call to action. October is a time to let something die and to grieve it and to move forward from the wreckage, because it's going to be It's going to be a fast action. It's going to be a big disruption. And the way through it is through healthy conflict. And your lover energy is going to want to protect your need to change by softening, by trying to allow the others around you to dictate where you go energetically, to dictate what choices you make. But you need to make this choice for yourself, because for your highest good to occur, for balance to occur, we are going to need to engage in that conflict and advocate for ourselves, our true self, not this superficial image that we've portrayed. So what I want to do now is grab a few more cards to get some to figure out how to enhance or unlock some of these houses. So starting with your King, Queen, Royal. Now your Warrior. How can we unlock the best or enhance the greatest good that we can have in our Warrior house? And jumping to the Magician. I like that one. And your Lover. You know, I'm going to pull we'll do that after. I'm going to say we'll do the Unifier now, but we'll just stick with this. Okay. The Son of Coins. Magician. We have the Ace of Staffs. In the Magician, we have the Shah of Staffs. And in the Lover, we have the Moon. Okay, so let's get into this. The Son of Coins in your King, Queen, Royal house. Like I said earlier, there is this call to let go of this image that you have. And so this Son of Coins is taking stock in October. It's the action taker, but it's slow action. It's doing small things. You know, it's not going and saying, okay, well, I haven't been the most supportive person in the world, so now I'm just going to become this ultra supportive, shake up guy, like the girl, So what I mean by that is, you're not going to then now immediately say like, oh, well, I need to make some changes. So now I'm going to make all of the changes in October, and I'm going to be a completely different person, because sometimes we can run the risk of that. We can see the problem, and then we can just be completely different. And then we can go out and we can tell everyone about this new thing that we discovered. I mean, I did it with triathlon for a while when I found Ironman and did it, and it was so good for me. I was like, Ironman, you got to go out and you got to do it, because this is the way you heal. And then it's not, it's just a way. And it's not my entire life. And then you're like, I feel like silly that I just expressed so much of that and like became the consummate promoter for this thing that was cool, but not like everyone was going to do it, right? And then in your Warrior house, the Ace of Staffs reversed speaks to, well, when it's upright, it's about, passion. It's about new passion coming in. And when it's reversed, I read it as new passions coming in. Absolutely. But you in your Warrior house, the house of action, need to not take advantage of it, need to not jump on every passion. Like I said here, it's slow movement. It's slow action. It's sustainable change, not radical, drastic. I'm a new person. What you need to do is take all of those ideas that are coming in, because there are going to be ideas that just flood. There's going to be passions that you want to chase and pursue, and it might happen after this tower gets blown up and things get shaken. You're like, well, this isn't going to pan out, so I have 5 other things that I want to start doing. Don't do 5 things. You need to really focus on not taking every new passion, but finding the passion that allows you to connect with the trusted allies, with the people that you understand, that understand you and will help you ascend to your highest good. And over here, the Shah of Staffs is the king of the suit. So it is reversed as well in your Magician house. So the Shah of Staffs is going to be the ruler, the master of the suit. This is a strong leader. But when it's in reverse, I think you're being called to not lead in this month. You're being called to go inside and let others lead you and show you and teach you, because this lover card up here, the moon, is telling you mystery is what you're going to need to seek, because I see a lot of the issue that you're having in October stemming from these two, your lover and magician, your connection and your spiritual side or organizational side. And this is a leader, but reversed, it's saying, don't be the leader, be the learner. You're being called to disrupt being the leader in this and become more of the learner in the month of October. And this fire of passion is not going to die out when you do that. It's actually going to become reinvigorated, because you'll be now learning what you need to learn to become that highest self. You'll gain clarity in October with what you need to do, how you need to show up in the world for your highest good. And this lover card, the moon, it further speaks to that, because this mystery is this wonder. It's not cold. It's not sterile. This is mystery. This is the magic in your life. This is the stuff that you loved as a kid. You know, this is wonder. This is asking questions. Instead of fighting, instead of avoiding conflict, you need to seek out the healthy conflict, which is going to center around wonder. That's the key to all of this. Is your conflict is not to fight. Your conflict is because you desperately want to know. You desperately want to learn. You don't want to lead. You need to take this jumble in your head. Stop leading and stop trying to grip and force life to go the way you want it to slow down and lean into mystery and wonder. Find out what it is that lights you up. What is it that you're curious about? And then go there and find people who can teach you. That was why you're drowning, is because you're operating in the superficial realm of what you think you should do, and you're trying to control it, when what you need to do is engage in conflict, the conflict of growth, the conflict of understanding that you don't know it all, that there is mystery, and that mystery is centered around your passion. And when you do have this passion lit, and it is inspired, it won't be reversed. It'll be right side up, because you've disrupted all of that inner monologue that you have. You'll be no longer drowning. You can see, she sees the people. She knows they're there. She just has to break through this threshold. And that threshold is being lit by this moon. She's right under here. You can almost imagine that, right? She is underneath the surface seeing the light of the moon. And they're like, please come. These people are the wolf and the jackal in this card. And they're like, yes, come up. We're ready for you. We will show you the way. But you got to be slow about it. And now let's pull the unifier card. Just that's going to tie this all, unify this message for group number 1 for this month of October. And that energy, the unifier card, is the 2 of coins. Coin. So this is saying balance. The reason that this player can make such beautiful music, and it's got that infinity symbol, is because there's only a couple things being balanced. And that balance is between, I really feel, it could be anything. Like the balance is anything. It's 2 things. It's duality. It's dark. It's light. But message that I'm getting right now is you in October are redefining your balance and connection to the world of mystery and the physical world. The way your mind, the fertile bed of your mind versus the physical body that shows up inspired by the mind, inspired by mystery and wonder. So balance is slowing down, slow. Find the mystery. Don't jump on every new passion and idea that you have. And don't lead anyone right now. You can lead, but don't focus on being a leader. Be taught. Be teachable. Find the people and the things that light you up. And it will only happen if you find this balance. And that is across your whole life. That is family versus work. That is physical exercise versus intellectual learning. That is everything in balance. And that balance is going to create a disruption in your schedule and in your belief system. Be ready for it and know that the way through that is your way to the highest possibility of growth in your October. So hopefully that resonates with you. And if it does, please like and subscribe so we can get more connected as we go on. There's a lot more readings that I'm going to do. They won't always be this way, but if you like it, please subscribe. And until next time, journey well, my friends. All right. Group number 2, welcome to your October reading. We will be doing the King, Queen, Royal, the Magician, the Lover, and the Warrior for your spread. We'll do 2. We'll do 4 cards, 1 for each, and then we'll go through again and add a card that unlocks or enhances each of those houses, plus a 5th card that is the unifier, or the man in full, the woman in full card. But it's kind of the energy that will tie it all together. Or you need to have is one last message for how to make this the best October possible. So first we'll look at your king, queen, your royal, whatever verbiage you want to put on that. What energy does group 1 need to know about for that house in the Haunted Tarot? And now the warrior house, which is all about physical action. The king, royal, queen, that is all about blessing people. That is about ordering chaos and how we present ourselves in this world. The warrior is about action. And the magician is spiritual. It's the alchemist. It is organization. And like I said, spirituality to me is the biggest thing that the magician holds is spirituality. And the lover is connection. It's compassion. It's the inner knowing. It's the depth of seeing the connectedness. It's the human being, not the human doing. Okay, so in your king, queen, royal house, you have the Empress. In the warrior house, we have the 5 of Swords reversed. In the magician house, we have the 2 of Wands. And in the lover house, we have the King of Wands. In the king, queen, royal house, we have the Empress. And this really is telling me that in October, you're going to have a lot of new ideas. You're going to be very creative. You're going to be taking chaos and you're going to be swirling it and giving order to it. But the chaos is going to come around a lot of new opportunities, a lot of new ideas. And she's confident as she looks at this new idea. And that's going to be more or less you. You're sitting, you're not standing, you're not running around crazy, frantic. You are going to be calm. You're going to be controlled. You're able to handle whatever is coming your way in October. And it's going to be a fertile bed of creativity. So if there is something that you're not taking action on, this is the month to take action on it, because your ability to navigate that chaos of creation or of organization is absolutely going to flourish in October. So take that as a really good mark. This is also a time for you that's going to be really good to give the blessing, to compliment people, to encourage them, to, be authentic, not making stuff up, not just trying to be like, well, I've got to compliment someone today, so I need to compliment you. No, it's if you feel it, this little glowing orb, you can think of this as, I want to tell you something, but inside my head, I'm like, I don't want to, because it's not safe. It's going to feel weird. It's not really like my thing. So it's going to come across as awkward. Not in October. You need to start developing that muscle more. And so when you feel the feeling to say the nice thing, the complimentary thing, go for it. It's going to help you as you move forward. It's going to give you more confidence so that you can order the chaos, so that you can take steps on your creativity, because you'll have a lot more self-love when you express that gratitude and appreciation for other people and other things. So in October, you're becoming aware either that you are hurting people in some ways, that you are succeeding, but at what cost? At the cost of these people suffering. Doesn't mean that you're abusing people, but take a look at how you're engaging with other people, and if you're taking into consideration their feelings and their experience. Again, with this king queen, energy here was all about, October bringing grace to others. This might be where it needs to happen, is in your conquest. You maybe have pushed some people away, or you have been pushed away. Someone has hurt you and they have no idea that they've hurt you. And so what we need to do is look at the conflict that you're not having. You're not speaking up for yourself and expressing to this person that is collecting all these knives and all these trophies that you're doing it at a cost. And I don't think it's a cost you're considering, because you're hurting people. I don't know what is true for you, but one of those is going to come very clear to you in October. And over here in the Magician house, we have the 2 of Wands. And I think it's funny we're doing this tarot of the horror, the tarot of the haunted house. And so it's going to have more, imagery like this. But being in the spiritual house, the Two of Wands, it always speaks to, the starting of a new journey. And that new journey is really focused in the spiritual realm in this card and in this position. So in October, there is a connection to mystery. There is a connection to the esoteric, the metaphysical, something different from what you've been used to. It doesn't mean do tarot or do a Ouija board, but it certainly means that, we're guiding you towards this moon. And the moon is a symbol of mystery and wonder. It's a symbol of the unconscious, where the sun is vitality and newness. This is mystery. So, you have these two wands, the two candles, and they're just directing you to go into the mystery. Like maybe you're someone who wants to know things, wants the data, wants the proof, wants the evidence, but you're going to have to shed that a bit in October for your highest good. Doesn't mean go crazy. Don't completely change yourself, but the Magician house is one of order and systems versus the King Queen, which is order and chaos. This is how we physically, put parameters and boundaries around things so that we can have organization. Or it's a spiritual element. So it's this duality, and you're being called to challenge that and to open up in new ways to the more unconscious, the more intuitive, the more metaphysical aspects of it. This is even getting into fairy tales versus psychology books. It's very much not the heady knowledge, but the spiritual knowledge is trying to open up you to new ideas and new possibilities. And the King of Wands in your lover house really speaks to this being a very strong month for your lover house. And the lover is about compassion, though this card would suggest otherwise. But look at him. He's like compassionately holding. I mean, okay, his face is bloody. He probably bitter. I don't know. But at any rate, he's got this fire raging behind him. He's got this look. He's very intense, but it's focused. It's very focused, and there's chaos. And the more I look at this, there's two holes. So I guess he kind of did bite her neck, but it's Halloween. What are you going to do? So don't bite people. But in the chaos of the season, you're going to be okay because you are creative and you are compassionate. Well, passionate, I should say. He's so passionate, he bit her neck. Yes, but that passion also can lead to protection and connection. Right? So we are connecting. When we're passionate, we connect. So this is speaking about passionately connecting with other people, not in an intimate way. Necessarily it might be a new romantic relationship that flourishes and flames up in October. This heat, it's semi-romantic again, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It might just, for most people, it's going to mean connection with people, deeply connecting with people. And that lover energy carries to the spirit, because when we connect emotionally with people, we're more open to the spiritual because we're listening to what they have to say and allowing that to shift our own perspective. So that's where you're being called. And when you open to what other people and their experiences have been, if you're this person, you're going to be like, oh man, sorry, I didn't even realize. Yeah, but I'll take that into consideration. And if you're open and honest with yourself and you're these people, you're going to realize that this person is just a flawed human being too. In my life, I've had petty tyrants, and those people have ultimately, shown me something about human nature, and they've allowed me to empower myself through not crucifying them mentally over and over and over again. By me realizing that they're wounded people too, and they're not anything that I need to concern myself with. I can move on and forgive them internally, maybe not to their face, but I can move on from them, knowing what to look out for in the future. So there's lots going on here. And this royalty, this royal house we're trying to connect. We're trying to deeply connect and appreciate other people so that we can have this deep passion connection, this opening to spirit, and then realizing where we are being hurt or where we're hurting other people. In October, that's going to be a huge win. So let's go to the unlock or enhance section of the reading by putting a few more cards. 4. So would that be some? Is 4 some? A few is 3. A couple is 2. Some is 4 or more. We'll go with that for the King, Queen, Royal. Let's see what warrior energy needs to be unlocked, because to me that is going to be a very important, potent area. The Magician house, let's see, spiritually speaking, and the Lover, which I think is going to be pretty strong for you to begin with, but let's see what we can do to enhance that or prevent the erosion of it. So first, we have the Sun in the King Queen Royal house. In the Warrior, we have the Seven of Cups. In the Magician, we have the Fool or Salik in reverse. And the Lover is the Moon in reverse. How interesting. So further unlocking the mystery of this card is, this Sun right here. Is right here. And I think that's super cool because the Sun is vitality to me. When I see the Sun, I think of youthful discovery. And when I say youthful, I literally mean youth. Like they're digging up this toy that their father planted and dug into the ground for them to discover when they're older. Maybe he's gone now, but we're looking at our past in the most favorable light because in our past, there were things that we used to enjoy that God gave us vitality. This is the card of vitality. So this royal energy we have is looking directly at this vitality, connecting to your passions. The things that really light you up and fill you up in October is going to unlock the rest of this. So this is a super powerful house. The way you're expressing yourself to other people, presenting yourself to other people is going to be rooted in the success of it's going to be rooted in your ability to connect with those activities and relationships that really bring you light. And in the Warrior house, the Seven of Cups inverted. Seven of Cups is overwhelm with, emotional overwhelm. So this speaks in many ways, again, being inverted, it's speaking to the negative. There's positive things on this, there's negative things on this, and she's just overwhelmed with the possibility of it all. So either person, right? If you're this person right here, the overwhelm is protecting yourself from emotion. So you're making really decisive things to prevent yourself from feeling a lot of feelings. And that's not healthy, but you're going to become aware of this cycle and start to sit with those emotions and look at each individual emotional cup for what's inside of it and deal with it. Now, if you're this person, if you identify with these two that have been hurt, you're overwhelmed with emotion, the emotions of what this person has brought up in you, and you don't know how to even go and talk to this person. So the enhancement of this Warrior house is going to be taking physical action. And when I say physical action, it doesn't mean fight this person, no matter who you are in this. It's become aware that there's an issue, that there's an emotional swelling trying to come up or is coming up, and you need to go into nature, you need to go into journaling, you need to go into the gym, you need to go somewhere and physically write, speak, or move your body so that you can write or speak in a healthy way, in a healthy way. Because when you go out and move your body and you engage in nature and things of that nature, it's easier to process the emotions through writing or speaking. It just is. Go and try it. I promise you. That's one of the ways that I healed in some of these situations was I was able to engage in conflict with family and friends because I went and moved my body. And I had dopamine, I had natural endorphins in my brain. So I had objectivity and I could see my fault in it. I could see what I had control over. And when you see what you have control over, it's a lot easier to go into conflict because you know what you're expecting. You know what the possible outcomes are. So you're not just going in and telling someone where they're wrong and what they need to change. It's a conversation versus an attack. And in the Magician's house, we talked about this new adventure, right? About this mysticism and going in. This is not what is how to unlock, but it's why it's not unlocked. And this is in reverse. Salik, the Fool, this is new adventure. This is new beginnings. This is trusting in faith that you're on the path. This Sun opposes this. This moon, this sun opposes this sun. This sun sits beneath this moon and opposes this moon. So there's a lot of sun and moon. There's a lot of light and dark, shadow and light. There's a lot of unconscious and subconscious. It's even though you have 2 suns, 2 moons, so it's balanced. But what this is saying to you in this position, with it being reversed, is that you're resisting the change that's trying to occur. You're resisting the new adventure to let go of analytics and logic a bit and enter into the spiritual, enter into the unknown, enter into the mysticism, into the intuition. And that's what you're really being called to. And again, in the Lover house, you see the moon inverted or reversed. And when it's upright, totally different. But when it's reversed, it's a resistance. There's a resistance to that message. There's a resistance to that call to go into the unknown. And the unknown is scary because it's, unknown. So we have this passion, right? We have this deep connection in the physical world. But when it comes to the mystery and the wonder of the unseen, you're a bit resistant. So this side of your houses is really resisting the change that is going to be your highest good, because you're really succeeding in certain ways in the physical world. And it looks that way. And if you're this person, this is really strong. Like, you're not going to want to do this because you seem successful, but there could be better ways about it. There could be healthier ways so that other people are elevated around you and not just you rising. So really focus on that, the deep, meaningful connections, how to be gracious, how to have gratitude and express the blessing through connecting with your vitality, and not being overwhelmed with the emotions, but taking them one at a time through this connection to the spiritual world, through connection with others, to connect with your passion and your ability to be open. It's really an openness conversation. And the final card, the unifier card, the one that brings it all together, the man in full, the woman in full, we'll see what that is. You, right here. What is it going to be? Balance. That's what this card is. It's temperance. It's balance in all things. So the message, the unifying message here, this card is telling you, just like I said with moon, moon, sun, sun, this is balance. This is what you need. You need to do everything in moderation. You need to not go so deep into any one thing, but realize balance in all things. Be emotional, be spiritual, be analytical, be logical, yes, but lean a little bit more into that mystic energy, that wonder, that Santa Claus is real type thing, like re-establishing myth in your life. You don't have to take it literally, but almost embody it like it is literal truth, and see what that does to your soul. See how it inspires you and creates more wonder in your spirit. But don't get too focused on conquest. Don't get too focused on the other side. Don't get too focused on mystery. Don't get too focused on logic and overcoming the world. Like, be in it and be with it. Be present with others and balance it. Give into your emotions, but then know when to wall them up to move forward. Like, we can't just be lost in our emotions, our feelings. We can't stay there all the time, but we can set limits and let it go, and then come back to it later. We're going to come back to it. The emotion's going to come back, but we can't do it. We can't just spend all month in October in our emotions. So that's really what this temperance card is showing me. And I hope that this message brings some clarity into action that you can take. And if it did, please like and subscribe so we can reconnect in some more videos in the future, not just monthly ones, but every week, hopefully we'll get some new readings out there. And I'd like to have you there. So if it's meaningful to you, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. So until next time, journey well, my friends. Well, group number 3, are you ready for your reading? So as I think I mentioned, the flow of this is through the archetypes of Carl Jung, and that means king or queen or royal, the magician, the lover, and the warrior. One card for each house, then an additional card to unlock or enhance that house. And at the end, we'll do a 5th card, which is the unifier card, which could be the man in full, the woman in full. It's kind of the card that shows what energetic vibe you're going to have for the whole month of October, what summarizes the whole thing as one final send-off message. So Let's get into the king, the queen, the royal house, which is about expression. It's how you show up. It's how you speak to other people. It's how you order the chaos in your life. And the warrior here is all about action, the actions you take in a physical way, in a business way, whatever, you want to take action in, how you act on things. And the magician is spiritual. It's the alchemist. It's also systems. We can look at it that way as well, as not the ordering of chaos, but the creation of systems. But I like to think of it mostly as the spiritual life. And the lover is all about compassion and connection. This is what allows us to enjoy poetry and not just see it for words on the page. Okay, let's turn them over. King, Queen, Royal, 2 of Swords. The warrior is the Knight of Swords. And in the magician, the High Priestess. All right. The lover, the 5 of Swords. Let's get into it. Your king house, your queen house, your royal house is indecision. 2 of Swords. Not sure what to decide. Really, what message I'm getting here is less about indecision and more about not trusting yourself. There is an element of your October that is kind of steeped in this doubt, this self-doubt, that you don't have everything you need to produce, to organize the chaos, to succeed, to be a leader within whatever sphere, whether it's family or career, whether it's just your own internal healing process, like you don't know that you have what it takes, this blindfold. You put it on yourself. You've turned your back on the moon, and the moon is very much the symbol of intuition, of mystic energy, of the unconscious. This storm of water behind you is your unconscious mind, and you're just holding these blades like locked up to it because you don't know how to make this happen. You don't know how to believe in yourself. And we could pull 2 more cards just to kind of get a idea of what that decision is, or what's blocking you in that, even though I'm getting a little bit of an idea of what that is based on your magician house. But here's 1 and here's 2. Okay, so when we did this, the energy we got was the 1, which is the ace, I should say, and is the Ace of Swords, and the 3 of Wands. So when we compare these 2 together, we have this Ace of Swords over here being inspired thought. It's fast thought, but unfortunately the thoughts that you're having aren't for your highest good. They're crashing into your mind and preventing you from, in this card, taking the new adventure. So the 3 of Wands is all about new adventure. So you can see her descending the stairs on this new adventure, but it's still scary. But the reason it's scary is because you doubt yourself. You're saying a lot of negative thoughts to yourself, or why things won't work. So of course you're locked up. Why wouldn't you be if the thoughts you're saying are, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, this won't happen, you're going to hurt yourself again, because we've been here before. This is a very painful experience for you. This is a very real experience. So don't dishonor that, but also there is a way for you to not be so focused on the reasons that it won't work, the reasons that you're not capable of leading, the reason you can't bestow the blessing, the reason you can't show up to the whatever in your life, because you think you're not good enough or you're not prepared enough. You are. You just have to trust yourself, and we'll get into that down here. The warrior, which is taking action, is the Knight of Swords. So again, sword, 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 sword. We have a lot of mental energy in your October. So the Knight of Swords is decisive action. This reversed says you're being a bit careless with the way you're showing up in October physically, whether that's overtraining your body so that you're going to head towards injury, whether that's being a little bit careless in your words, whether that's making choices without fully thinking through them, or being connected to a deeper reason of why you're doing it. You're just, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. There's something in your warrior house about the way you're making decisions in your life that manifests physically that is a little bit reckless. It's a little bit, you need to take a little bit more time. But I think part of the reason that you're doing it unconsciously is because it keeps you locked. It keeps you from growth and change, because the way you are right now going into October is the way you've been for a long time. And you know it pretty well. Like there's safety and security in knowing the pain that you're currently in. So this is going to be a big shift for you, as well as embracing this message of the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess, she is a card of wonder and mystery. She is the gatekeeper of all wisdom and knowledge of metaphysical things, of the deeper spiritual meaning and all. And this High Priestess in your Magician house speaks very deeply to the fact that your October is one steeped in wonder. Maybe that's where you are now, but it needs to be where you continue to go, because that moon is behind you. And this sense of wonder and connecting to deeper, more meaningful things will turn this this version of you around to face that chaos of wonder. That blindfold will come off, and you'll not be so scared to take this journey. And these ideas that just come to your head, I really feel that you're getting a lot of ideas and thoughts in your head constantly, almost to the point where you're spinning and you're not able to focus on any one. So it just becomes just like death by ideas kind of a situation. And it's too much chaos for you to process. And part of that is because you're taking action on the wrong things. The wrong idea is the one that gets manifested, because there's so many. So you're having a hard time discerning which one you should go after. So you end up kind of in the cycle of going after the wrong ones, or the ones that fizzle out really quick. So you go from thing to thing to thing to thing, and you keep cycling back and back because it doesn't pan out, because you don't have longevity. But connecting to this, we have to realize about the High Priestess is she's the gatekeeper, like I said, but you have to do some things to earn that knowledge. This is a deep, long process. She is going to test you when you show up and say, I'm ready to learn. Are you? Are you ready to meditate? Are you ready to question all that you believe so that you can spiritually go and have clarity and peace in your mind? It's going to be a process. I cannot tell you it will not be, but it will be worth it. But it's going to take time. And October is where you double down and you say, this is my path. I will put my energy here, because this Magician is going to be the house that creates the most good for you in October. In your Lover house, we have the Five of Swords, which is but in the Lover house, it's speaking to me that the way you've been connecting with people hasn't been the healthiest. This speaks to potentially, codependency. This speaks to connection through conflict that's not leading to anyone's benefit or growth, almost like being addicted to drama. This can also be a system where, you're not like in here, you're being careless, perhaps, and cavalier in your attitude towards other people and how it affects them. But you need to really look over your shoulder at the way you're engaging with these people and ask yourself, is this truly worth it? Is this truly the best for anybody involved in the situation? And this High Priestess is looking at you saying, it's not. Like, the answer, it's not. But as long as you keep stuck in this cycle of chaos, like it's just going to be a self-feeding, because your Lover house being disordered in the way you're connecting with other people is the feeder system for the self-imprisonment or the locked feeling that you feel or have been feeling. But it's calling you to say, not in October. I'm going to become aware of it, and I'm going to make some changes. So I want to pull the next cards to see what enhancement or what unlock ability we have for each house, and then the Unifier card. So now let's do the King, Queen, Royal. And the warrior, this will be a big one, I think. And the magician. What do we need? What do we need? Magician, spirit, high priestess. What do we need? I love the high priestess. One of my favorite cards, by the way. The five of swords, not the five of swords, the lover house. What do we need for unlocking you and understanding how to enhance this? We'll come back for the unifier card, but first the king and queen card is the Eight of Cups. The warrior is the Sultan, which is the Emperor reversed. The magician is Wheel of Fortune, and the lover is the Hierophant. So the Eight of Cups in your king, queen house speaks to me about, we're looking at the water, and the water's behind you when you were blindfolded here. This also speaks to a new adventure, a new journey, leaving behind what you know, leaving behind what has made you comfortable in the past. Like I was saying, there's this real strong element of comfort within discomfort in an unhealthy way. It's calling you to leave that behind. It's calling you to take this adventure into healthy spiritual learning. And that is going to be uncomfortable, but you do have what it takes. This camel can sustain long journeys, because it's not all of these cups are full. There has been some drinking out of it. So you have enough to take this journey. You are not going to be depleted, but you are going to have to let go of some things and leave behind some things that have made you comfortable, whether they were good or bad, to get to your highest good in October. In the warrior house, we said careless action, but what we have is the Sultan, or the Emperor reversed. Now the Emperor is the king, really. I think of the king in tarot. So that inversion being in your night house, not your night house, your warrior house, it says that the reason that you're locked here is because the king energy, the action that you're taking as an emperor in this world, it can be tyrannical at times. You're prone to potentially acting out in a way that if you don't get your way, you might throw a fit, or you might leave people, you might smash and stomp and or internally beat yourself up over and over. You might be sadistic to the inner self. You might be very negative self-talking, and that's a really unbalanced version of a very good energy. The Sultan is also the father of the whole deck. This is the ultimate in what the healthy masculine would be able to identify. So this is leadership. This is compassionate leadership, I should say. This is assertiveness, but it's also compassion. Like, this is very much a beautiful expression of the masculine, but when it's inverted, when it's reversed and it's unhealthy, it's very domineering. It's very assertive, not assertive. It's very aggressive, and it's hurtful. So there is an element of the fragility of your inner peace is disrupted by outside factors, by these ideas that are coming to you, by this locking up of connection in an unhealthy way that keeps you lashing out or self-sabotaging. That's what I really get here. So you have to really be aware that the way you're self-sabotaging, or the way that you're showing up and being offended and triggered in this world, is directly influencing poor decision-making in your life in October, and probably before this too. Over here, we have in your magician house, the Wheel of Fortune, which, you could look at this moon and be like, that's the wheel, but it's reaffirming. It's doubling down, saying the magician house is the most potent house in your October for you to be aware of, or to continue to enhance. The Wheel of Fortune is karma. It's cycles. It's things coming your way that if you are going to invest in your spiritual well-being, the High Priestess will be there to meet you and will reveal the secrets. You will have inner peace. You will, if you develop and dedicate yourself to this inner knowing and this seeking of non-conventional wisdom. That's what I really want to say, is opening yourself up to non-conventional wisdom. You will have a huge blessing and a huge surge in your spiritual life and life as it is everywhere. And in the lover, it's the Hierophant. The Hierophant is your spiritual wisdom holder. This is the, not the high priest, but it is like the Pope in traditional decks. So it's basically not basically, it's sort of, when I think of it, I think of the masculine version of the high priestess. So you definitely have a lot of spiritual vibe coming in here on this side of your spread, which unlocks the rest of this disorder, which is funny because this is the house of chaos. So when you're not able to navigate that chaos, the king can become very tyrannical, which is what we're seeing here with the emperor being inverted. So in your lover house, instead of engaging in conflict, you need to sit still with yourself. You need to almost distance yourself from people for a time, a day, for part of a day, and meditate to reconnect with what's inside yourself, to invest in your spiritual well-being, whatever that looks like for you. It can be a literal spiritual practice. It can be yoga. It can be 5 minutes of looking at a candle, reciting a meditation or a mantra. It's just every day, instead of engaging in conflict, you're engaging in spiritual growth. So that will unlock your Wheel of Fortune, which will be the blessing of the High Priestess, which will stop you from being overwhelmed with chaos and creating this tyrannical presence in the world or in your inner world. And the man in full, the woman in full, the unifier card, the final message is this very thing. The Tower reversed. The Tower is a card of sudden change. It is a shakeup. It's inverted, so there is a message of resisting change. And this means to me, I'm cautioning to say in October, I feel like this has been happening, or this has happened recently, that the shakeup has occurred and you resisted it. Or in October is going to happen and you're going to resist it. Even though this High Priestess is sending the energy, this Wheel of Fortune is literally reaching towards and like shooting lightning out of his hand to break your tower up, because karma's trying to occur. You don't have control over this. Karma it's a wheel. It's cyclical. So stop resisting and let it in. Open up. Crack open your heart and let the mystery in. Get out of your head and let the mystery in. That is the highest good that you can expect in this October. So please open to that, because there is immeasurable good that will come from in all of your life if you can learn to connect to the spirit, connect to the deeper meaning of why we're all here, and see through all of the chaos that's swirling. I really feel like there's a lot of chaos in your mind that you keep just beating yourself up over because you don't know how to pick it. And when you pick it, you pick the wrong thing, but it's because you're clouded. You're not thinking with your heart. You're thinking only with your head, and the head can lie to us. So that's the message that I'm getting for you. And I know it'll be challenging and it won't be comfortable, but there's going to be a lot of great moments. And this Hierophant is really telling you, you're going to have to make time for those moments. You're going to have to be intentional about sitting still and self-care in a spiritual sense. Okay. So not coping, not spiritual bypass, not drinking because you got too much pain or, mental, whatever, not deflecting your feelings onto a substance or a process that's not going to, that's going to prevent you from, really being honest with yourself. Connect in really healthy ways that bring you more to the center. And you're going to have to learn those things. I know you might not know them, or you know them and you're avoiding them. So hopefully there's something here that was meaningful and actionable for you in the month of October. And if it was, I would love for you to like and subscribe, because I'm going to do more of these videos, not just the monthly spreads, but more often. And I would love to have you there. So if it's meaningful, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. So until next time, journey well, my friends. Group number 4, welcome to your reading. I'm just going to shuffle these cards. And I mentioned that it's the King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, the Queen, or the Royal, Warrior, Magician, Lover, the Jungian archetypes. So we're going to do that, and then we'll do another card for each of those houses, plus a unifier card. And we'll start with the King, the Royal, the Queen, and see what energy holds for that. Now we'll jump to the Warrior, which is all about physical action, decisive action, or just any kind of action we're taking. The Royal is about how you express yourself, how you're showing up in the world, how you're ordering chaos, how you're leading your family or yourself or your business or your internal space. And the Magician is spiritual. That's what I like to focus on. It can also be intellect, so intelligence and spiritual aspects. So we'll see what energy we have there for October. And Lover is all about compassion and connection. This is how we relate to others and the world. This is why we like poetry, because it's the deeper meaning beneath the words. So King Royal, the Lover, as I was just about to say, King, Queen, Royal. Now, the way we express ourselves in October is interesting. Okay, so wait, no. I'm gonna flip all of them over. I just had a strong message come up, so I want to flip all of these over. But yeah, that just kind of hit me. Your Warrior is the Sun. Your Magician is the Emperor, and your Lover is the Six of Pentacles. Okay, let's get back to the Lovers. So the Lovers in reverse. Here are your Lovers, but it's in reverse. And I just was saying how the Royal House is about expression. It's about leadership. It's about how we show up in our world. And what I see in October is disconnection within partnership. The reason I say disconnection is because it's reversed. Also, you have these two people who are in a relationship. Clearly, they know each other pretty well. It doesn't have to be a lover in your life, but it could be a romantic relationship. If it is a romantic relationship, it's really important to key on in this person who's looking in. Now, this is a mirror, or it's a picture. To me, it's a mirror showing someone looking in on this that wants to be her. So whoever it is jealous of whatever's happening here. This could be you, or this could be you. The message I'm getting is this is you. I'm really getting the sense that you're outside looking in and you're feeling jealous. So you're feeling victimized in some way, that maybe some career opportunity took off without you. Maybe this group is going off without you. Maybe there's a friendship group that is kind of moving away from you because you don't feel like you quite fit in. Either way, you're telling yourself a story in this chaos. Besides ordering it, you're telling yourself that you're not welcome, which is preventing you from showing gratitude and having gratitude and appreciation for the things around you. It's making you want to shrink away from responsibility in October or leading into October. That's where you are, is very much feeling the sense of jealousy, and that is how you're using as an excuse to shrink a bit and to not accept responsibility. In your Warrior House, this is vitality. This is the Sun. It's also inverted or reversed, and in its upright position, it's like I said, vitality. It's all the things that connect you to this world, to connect you to peace and happiness. So what I'm seeing here in your Warrior is now you're not taking action. You're not taking action on the things that light you up, that fill up your cup, because there's something that you used to do or need to do that's very physical. Could be exercise, could be going out into nature. It's something you're physically doing or choosing to pick up a book and read it. Like, it's very intentional, but it used to give you vitality and now you're not doing it. And part of that is because you've been feeling jealous about something. So you're shutting down the path to your highest good. And that needs to be flipped. Like, it really needs to, for you to come online and be peaceful and balanced and find all of the empowerment that's in your life that you're refusing to see right now. In your spiritual house, your Magician house, your intellect, you have the Emperor, which is the father. This is a very generative man in this, and a very protective man. I don't look at him as a hunter, but in this deck, apparently they've decided to make him he looks like the guy from Jumanji that was hunting Robin Williams to me. But what this means is that your spiritual house and your intellect is good. Like, you have the tools. You have, the message I'm getting is you have secret knowledge. You have wisdom to share, but you're not sharing it. It's there, but it's locked because of this jealousy, because you're not investing in things that make you happy. You're investing in your knowledge so that you can know in your heart that you're brilliant, that you could save the world, but you're not going to because those people suck. That's the message I'm really getting. And I don't know who that's for, but there's a really strong inkling in my head that says this is a big deal, is investing, that you invest in your own intellect and spiritual power so that you know that you're powerful, even when other people say you're not. Because that's the vibe, is you're in here looking like wanting to be invited into the party, but you're not, or you perceive that you're not because you're not taking action to make you see that you're blocking yourself from the experience, from the connection. In your lover house, we have the 6 of coins. This is a card of generosity, of giving. And I feel that this is your highest good, is generosity. But I feel, based on the other part of this spread, that we're not quite doing it right now. But in October, this is what you need to focus on, is how can you be generous with your intellect, with your knowledge. It's about giving from the abundance of what you have in October. That's what you need to do to unlock this, to power this side. This might be the action you need to take, is the generosity. Let's go get some information about how we unlock or enhance any one of these given houses. So starting with the royal house, that king, queen energy, what do we need to bring to unlock this house, because it is locked right now. Your king, queen, your royal, and your lover, not lover, your warrior now is locked. What is going on there? What can we glean? What can we be told from spirit? Your magician, where you're solid, can we enhance that, or can we see what would potentially block us and stumble as we go? And the lover, what do we need to know to enhance or unblock the potential blocks that might be coming? We'll come back to the unifier card after this, but we'll flip these over. Okay, for the lover, or for king, the devil. In your warrior, it's the 7 of swords. In your magician, it's death. And in your lover, the Son of Coins reversed. Okay, let's start with your royal house. The devil reversed. This is all about breaking out of chains and breaking out of restraints. You can't see it. It's just very cloudy in there. But there's chains here wrapped around you. And here's this window, right? And if you look at this window, I'm going to see if we can partner these together. There's clarity in this window, and here's where this person, this you, is looking in with jealousy, but here's clarity. And the reason that you got clarity here was because you broke free of these bondage chains. You realize that you're imprisoning yourself in some way, and the 7 of swords factors into that as well. In your warrior house, this is the card of thievery, stealing. This person is running away from the light with swords. And swords are thoughts. They are what, moves us to action because they started in our brain and now we're taking action on them. But you're robbing yourself of an experience. To me, this feels like you're taking from your vitality, right? Like this sunlight is shining the vitality into your life, but you're abusing it. You're running away from it. You're using this mental cycle of damaging self-thought, and not engaging in your vitality. So you're always in a state of depletion. That's going to change, as we said, through service. And when you serve, you'll be able to break these chains and not be jealous, but be a good lover and a good partner in wherever you are. The death card in your magician position is interesting because it's not speaking about a literal death, but when you factor in the rest of this, you're walking towards the light. Why? Because you stopped keeping the secret. You're turning around and you're facing the light. You're walking towards it now in your magician house. Because you realize that your greatest power is in service, in taking your secret knowledge and going forth with it. And I really don't remember if this was reversed or not, but I know that death is not saying stop learning, stop growing spiritually. It's saying stop holding it to yourself. Stop keeping it to yourself. Stop stealing all of this wisdom and holding it. You're like gaining wisdom, right? And getting a little something here and then gaining wisdom and sprinting back to your den of all these heads. You're like, I am the master of my domain. You should pay penance to me if you want to know my inner wisdom. You know, this is the attitude that needs to die because you're not feeling seen by other people. The Son of Coins inverted. This speaks in the Lover's house to slowing down. Now, we have this pentacles. So this is your only, or coins, I should say, because in this is coins and some it's pentacles. This and this, these two are your only coins. And the coins are usually physical materialism. It's your physical body. It's your home. It's your wealth. I'm looking at it as wealth. And so the Son of Coins is taking action on that wealth, but it's slow, deliberate action, and it's inverted. So you're avoiding taking that action. And it's reversed. And when it's reversed, you're failing to take the action, and that action is service. It's giving out of the wealth of your intellect and your spiritual wisdom or your spiritual wisdom and giving it to others who don't have it. You need to serve them in that way, but it's going to be realizing it's slow action and not just going for one day, being super spiritual, super, teaching, and be like, yeah, okay, I'm done. Now I'm happy. No, it's small doses of that wisdom given, so you're not overwhelming people and you're not doing it in a self-gratifying way where you show, look how great I am and how smart I am, and then you go back to your cave and you're like good for a couple months. This is slow. Serve in a slow way. Change slowly in a sustainable pattern. So let's pull out the Unifier card to see the overall arching message that you need before you get into this month of October. Ace of Coins reversed. It really speaks to me when it's reversed is scarcity mindset. This is scarcity mindset. This is abundance and new opportunity. In its reverse position here, we really get the message that the Unifier card is becoming aware of your scarcity mindset, becoming aware of this jealousy that you feel because you feel you're missing the boat, you feel people aren't respecting you, you feel that people aren't coming to you and seeing you for the brilliant person that you are. I don't know what that conversation is for you, but you believe there isn't enough. And so you're hoarding, you're keeping this intellect, this knowledge, this whatever that you are holding fiercely onto and afraid to give away. It might even be sharing ideas with people because you're afraid that they're going to take those ideas and use them and not give you credit. You really, in the month of October, are going to have to deal with and be forced to deal with your scarcity mindset, because either you're going to be so scarce that you overwhelm yourself and get into a scary mental place where you're really depressed or something, or you're going to just be uncomfortable enough where you're like, enough's enough. I'm tired of this. I don't want to be alone. I do want to serve. And you're going to find that there's going to be an opportunity to serve. Be slow, though. Take slow action. Otherwise, you're going to burn out and be like, yeah, see, I told you I don't have enough in me. I know for a long time I used to not want to share any wisdom because I believed that I had 2 pieces of information that I could give. And once I gave those 2 pieces of information, I'd have nothing else to give and people would see who I am. And that is a boring, bland human being with nothing to offer. Well, that's how I kept myself small. And whether it's true or not, I'm showing up. You need to show up because it's for you. It's not to prove to anyone. It's to prove to yourself that you do have something to offer. You do have a gift of service. You do have something special that other people need. And yeah, some people have the same gift as you and people have the same gift as me, but I'm still showing up and giving it to the people that I can give it to. And then you can give it to the person that you have access to. You see, we all come and do this together. So that's your call in October. And if you can find that way to serve and open up and fill up your cup so that you don't feel so you can foster this idea of abundance, that you have enough and there is enough, October is going to be great for you. So hopefully there's something here you can use and take action on. And if this was meaningful to you in any way and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to do more videos, not just of the monthly spread, but every week or two I'll have something new to do a pick a card and use it as a way for us to explore together the inner workings of our crazy little minds. So until next time, journey well, my friend.